This is C3. No. Oh, that's an F. I knew it was close. Wow, that's an F. It's in key. And I'll be goddamn. I'll be goddamn. Well, I'll be goddamn.
What's going on? Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that's going to be on Patreon. This is alpha provider male. You could also even say, this goes in also to the alpha simp. The alpha simp. Because all men pretty much in as far as nature, we are the protectors. Women tend to be the providers, really. Women really naturally, women are the providers. We our primarily method as far as men is more on protection than provision. We provide the protection. Women go out and get the provision. That's what goes down in nature. Okay, that's what typically goes down in nature. But they say provide, but that's more of a term that is used in this capitalistic society that we live in. We live in a capitalistic society, and in that society, basically, we have to provide in order to compete. So that's how that usually goes. Pretty much, protection is more of the still the most valuable thing men provide is protection. Okay, because you faced in a dark alley, a woman, she will give up everything she had. Even a man, if he can't protect himself, get out of that situation, give up everything they have to get out of that dark corner. That shows you how money in certain very 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 much in situations where your life is in danger, your money or your provisions do not matter. Your protection primarily is more of what matters. So that provider role is more of a protection role. A lot of people don't probably talk about that, but I'm here today to zero in on certain things that others have left out. Now, like I said, this is pretty much going to be on Patreon. This is definitely a free kind of a free watch for now, but this definitely will be on Patreon. So I'm gonna be talking about a couple examples of alpha provider males that just kind of, you can tell that they don't really know about things. They dad didn't really put them up on game because dad probably wasn't around. I talk a lot about how women, basically raised without a dad in the household. They don't really have a lot of game, because see, this is what I have to remind myself as well as you guys and gals, is that basically one of the things about women that make them tend to be a higher quality of woman, that is that they know the game. They know the laws of how men supposed to treat women. They know what to look for as far as men. Typically, women learn that from their fathers. Fathers put them up on game at a very early age. It's not even so much even game. They just set a shining example of what a man looks like, what he sounds like, and how he looks as far as in society. That may vary from woman to woman, but pretty much that is typically how that works. And a lot of times, women, not having a father in the home, by various means of issues with that, they don't have that understanding. So they go out and they choose very, very wrong. Well, I really don't go in a lot on the opposite end of that coin, and that is the men. Okay. For example, Tyrese is constantly in the social media, primarily because of him, because he, you know, I think he's more of a loner. And a lot of times being a loner, and if you're a social person, or if you tend to be more social, you go to social media to profess your problems, and that's, I really don't have no problem with that, but really, that's to each his own. To a certain extent, I tend to kind of do that a little bit myself. I just choose to do it on YouTube. I don't do it on. Some people prefer Instagram. Some people prefer Facebook. But I primarily use YouTube. But anyway, he is someone that is constantly coming up because he's having drama. He's having relationship drama and marriage drama. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to talk about some things as far as religion. This is going to be kind of lengthy. Um, I don't know who's going to be around to actually catch this live, because this is going to be kind of lengthy. And it's really late at night, but I do see quite a few people live. So, you know, um, like I say, when I'm listening to something, or if I don't hear any quality as far as content, as far as what I want to listen to, I use that time to go live myself. And this is actually a topic that I wanted to talk about, and I just choose to use this time. So I had a nap earlier, so I got a little wind left to put out some content. So here you go. So basically, the alpha provider meal. Okay, what do I mean by alpha provider meal? Okay, you probably, if you heard, in the different spaces on YouTube and the manosphere, you've heard the term beta provider meal. Okay, typically what happens is that what they say is that primarily you'll have, and it's not even so what they say. What you see is that typically women, they'll go and have fun by the time they're in high school to, let's say, 25, or even say, let's say 30. Let's say between 20 and 30, those are the fun times for women. Um, they have their fun. And during that fun, they basically have, different relationships with different men. Uh, you know, the multitude varies. Okay, they have their fun, they have their social media. Now, when I came up, social media was getting brand new. It was Black Planet was around when I was in my 20s, right? And you can meet somebody off of Black Planet. So the thing is that now you have social media, where women can grow big followings in their social media pages relatively quickly, and they can be kind of mid-range as far as looks, with different cosmetic upgrades, as well as different makeups and stuff like that. They can, kind of upgrade their point scale. Maybe if they're a 5, they can upgrade it to a 6, right? With makeup and different enhancements, right? Even filters. And then now you have AI. You have AI photo enhancements. So you basically have women that are able to pretty much market themselves well on social media, on the dating apps, right? So they're able to get men. They're able to, thirst trap by various means of different photos and stuff like that on social media, and get men in their orbit. Okay, and from that they get pregnant. They have had a child or two, and then basically they became a single mom. And by proxy of being a single mom, they've already put themselves in a situation where some men are going to not want to be with them. Okay. They've already had basically got pregnant. They have a baby daddy that they might deal with. The situation might be toxic. It tends to be a situation where through the actions of the women that it becomes a toxic situation, such as women do things such as they do not contact the father because they're upset with them, because they're striking out in life with men. So basically they take out their frustrations in life on the other man involved that they had children with, to punish that man, or by proxy of them not wanting to talk to the man. It's kind of like they pretend as if they're single, and typically what happens is that if you're single and you're in a relationship with someone, you don't talk to them anymore. You basically don't talk to them. But what a lot of times, what single mothers that are toxic and have not gotten therapy, not dealt with their life, they'll pretend as if like they're still single, and they're still they use the children as some type of pawns that are attached to you, because if you didn't have any children with these with these women, you wouldn't talk to them. You wouldn't have anything to do with them. So by proxy of the reason why you want to engage with your children's mother, you have to talk to them to engage that communication and have meetings, pick up your children and stuff like that. So they'll just use that as a ploy to disengage with you, starving the children of their father, and basically not dealing with you. And it's really the only way to really deal with that is by either cutting off the actual communication fully, meaning, you know what, I'm not going to play this game. I just won't talk to you at all. My kids are there, Godspeed with them. And then basically, usually what happens with that is because you're not playing their game, they will file some type of child support and state that you are not in the children's life, and state that they want full custody and blah blah blah, because basically they made it a difficult situation to where every time you try to reach out to them, they don't answer, or they don't they basically ghost you. So they put yourself in a situation where you just be like, okay, well, I won't even engage at all, you know. Then I'll just basically just not even communicate, won't play the game, and basically that puts them in a corner. Some women actually they don't even file child support on you. They'll just basically they'll just basically go their own way, and they'll just put up the narrative to their children and lie and say that you're a terrible deadbeat father. All the while they know secretively that they made a situation where they cut off communication, made communication difficult. They told you a bunch of no's about how you can't do this and this, and you can't pick your children up, and you can't do this and all that. And it's basically those are the tactics that typically what happens when it comes to that that engagement once you already had children with these women. And that's why you'll think to yourself, you'll see a single mom. And that's why I did the video on single mothers on not too long ago, like 3 or 4 months ago. It's a reason why these women are single and they have children. And what you'll find is that, yeah, it's some women that they had more of an issue with the father, meaning the father was an actual deadbeat, or an actual, might have been locked up, went to prison, whatever. It's actually not something that they had anything to do with. It's just that's the how they father the children is, or circumstances, and it is what it is. But in a lot of cases, it's actually on the single mother. She did certain things to put her in a situation to where she will be permanently a single mother, and permanently having issues with the child's father, to where she made it difficult for the father to actually be a father in the life of the children. So I say all of that to say, basically, those men, she basically got children by, they are beta provider males. Women tend to get pregnant, and then basically they look for a beta provider male to help them out, help them upgrade their life, and provide some type of provision. And yeah, I mean, basically their best case scenario is even worse. This is why I'm doing this video. They're really not really looking for a beta provider male. They're hoping that they can find what I'm talking about as far as Tyrese. They're really looking for an alpha provider male. Okay, that's what really they are looking for, because you gotta listen to what these women are actually talking about. They don't really want the Poindexter pocket protector provider male. They don't even, nowadays, they don't even talk to those men unless they like really on hard times. If you see a woman in the hood on hard times, they'll, or even if you go to a bank, and they know how much money you make, and you more of let's just say a beta male, and they know how much you make and all of that, they will try to flirt with you and try to talk to you. They will try to do that because they know you have those provisions. You have money to have them live a certain type of lifestyle that they couldn't afford to live themselves. So really, ideally, what they want is people call it Tupac with the PhD. They want the alpha provider male. Actually basically it ain't even so much Tupac with a PhD. Really what they want is the clueless alpha male. They want a clueless alpha male. That's tend to be that's perfect. That's perfect for women, and that's really what women that are kind of predatory, to where they going out and looking for someone to take care of their children, or they even maybe even looking to have a child, and they want a certain scenario to basically end with. They want child support, and then they want some type of lifestyle basically with the child. And the alpha provider, the clueless alpha provider male, brings that reality to them. And it comes to the situation where it's kind of like with women. Women court when they try to when men court them. I talked about the finance manager, the father in the home. The father, he basically says, okay, you can date my daughter or not, or you cannot date my daughter, you don't qualify. Well, the father, he does kind of the same thing to the son. He puts the son, he steps the son aside, like, hey, what's going on, man? What are you doing? Why are you why did you choose this chick, man? What's going on, man? What, you having fun, or what's going on? If the dad sees his son going a certain way, he'll put the son aside and kind of chin check him, like, hey, what's going on, man? What's your problem? And typically what happens is men, they make their own decisions. Men are very, very egotistical and also stubborn. Women are too, but men take it a step further, because they have to make their own. So a lot of times men have to make their own decisions, and they don't really listen well like women do. Women have an easier time listening than men. Men tend to be more closed-minded, stubborn, and arrogant about certain things, even if they're clueless. And that's a lot of times, only thing other than the father is your peer group, your friends, and if you got a good friend, he'll step aside and say, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? What is your problem? I mean, she don't deserve you, bro. What the hell is your problem? Why are you letting her get away with all of this and this and this and this and this? And it's like, some guys don't even have that. And then they also won't listen to their friends as well. So a lot of times what happens is they have to make their decisions. Then they come back to you on the humble, if they do that, and be like, man, you were so right, man. Damn, I ain't listen, And then by the time that happens, she's, you already got a court case or two, you got a child or two, and you got all of the basically damage control of a failed relationship that you got to deal with. When somebody told you, somebody pretty much put you on game and told you what it was. But a lot of times what it is putting a man on game comes early. It comes at preteen. It's kind of like a woman. You take your son, you drive him around undesirable neighborhoods, let's just say, and you show them the bums, you know, you show them some videos. Like now it's so easy now. It's very, very easy now to educate children because you got so many examples on the internet. You know, you can show them examples of interviews of homeless guys on the street talking about their failed relationships. You got men that you can show them, you know, this the homeless camp right here, you know, and you can show them all of these interviews of these men in these homeless camps, and how they talked about their failed relationships with women, you know, different people in society that have had failed relationships because they just didn't they didn't know. They just didn't. A lot of guys, they, like I said, between the arrogance, the stubbornness, um, and also yeah, just, you know, arrogance and stubbornness. They basically make their own decisions and they go with it. And a lot of times they don't get out of it until they get out of it, till they get tired of it. And then some men, they stay with it. They go with their terrible decision all the way to the grave because, like I said, it goes with that arrogance and that stubbornness. You know, because having some type of relationship also is looked at as a competition. It's looked at as a competition. So some people, some couples, they look at, if they get out of the relationship, they failed the competition. You know, they didn't last. You know, so it's like, you know, that comes to a situation too. But the thing that I'm talking about is, like I said, the clueless alpha provider male. Okay, that's where I'm going in. That's the meat on this bone. What's going on, Alonzo? That's the meat on this bone. That's what I'm talking about. The clueless alpha provider male. Okay, let me play a video, show you what I'm talking about. This is this. You know, this is a brother that, let me just paint a picture. Let me show you a card of what I mean by alpha, beta, male hierarchy. This is what I mean by that. And then I also have a higher chart. Basically, let me take this off here. This is my higher tier chart. As far as, you know, you got a hierarchy outside of even standard, beta, and alpha. This is my theory. You know, this is my theory. And you could even say that Tyrese is more on the side of being an alpha master. But yeah, these are the charts that I'm talking about. Okay. There's various different people explaining different male hierarchy structures. Mine is very, very simple. But the thing is that, yeah, let me play this video with Tyrese explaining his saga going through right now with a divorce. I'm not sure how many times he's been married. I think he's been married at least once or twice. I'm not sure. Let's play this here from the start.
I left the courtroom during my divorce trial, and I realized that it was never love. It was just a transaction. Wow. So we did a whole marriage and did the whole duration of a child and starting a family just to find out that it was all about money, status, transaction. Imagine me being the only actor in a relationship to then realize that I was in a relationship for 5 years with one of the best actors I've ever met in my life. I left the courtroom.
Yeah. So, I'm definitely this is just kind of educational. A lot of people have had issues with women. This is educational. I'm not necessarily trying to rag on the man. Uh, he's not the only person that's have had issues with women. What I'm saying, women are they are looking for the clueless alpha provider male. Okay, that's their number one dream as far as these predatory women. They are looking for the clueless alpha provider male. Okay, someone that that's just not up on game, that doesn't know about. They don't listen to the broke genius. They don't listen to the manosphere or anybody. They don't know anything from a can of tuna salad. And they basically, like I said, men are very, very arrogant. Okay. Look up that word in the etymology, arrogant. They believe that they have the knowledge. Their knowledge is something that, even though it needs some type of critique, they have the way. Okay, they might fuck up, but it's their fuck up. Men are very, very, very arrogant, very stubborn. Meaning they know that they're the way that they're living their life, their choices is wrong, but they're too stubborn to change that. Okay. I mean, it's hilarious to me, because here's the thing: you got to understand, this is just on a personal level. I am not very, very financially successful, but I myself, I deal with less than these men, and I have more in life. I have more accomplishments with women than these men with less of the burden. I mean, basically, what I'm trying to say is that if I was a mega millionaire, which means basically basically $100 million plus, or a multi-millionaire, which is like basically 8 figures. I promise you, I know my value. I promise you. I had to learn my value. I had to, man, before even Kevin Samuels was talking about value, okay, way before Kevin Samuels ever even came into the manosphere, your boy was already had a YouTube channel. Okay. I already was talking about certain things. Like I said, some people are very good salesmen. Some people have, very good salesmanship, and they can, be very, very popular. I myself, I'm not that good as far as trying to convince you. I just come, I speak my shit, and then I put it out, and however it goes, it goes. Now, when it comes down to my content, as far as what I've already talked about, let's go back to old videos. Okay, some of my like, this is my first video. Know your worth. Let me put this in the chat. Okay, this was around the time that I was living in my house. I was separated from my wife, and I did this video. Okay, this is in the chat here. All right. Now here's the thing. I'm not a popularist. I don't try to sell you. It just is what it is. I'll be honest with you. I'm going through chaos in life just like anybody else. I work. Sometimes my energy levels may be low. I'm also going through life just like you. So, the thing is that sometimes I might be peak energy. Sometimes it might be low energy. Okay. So, whatever the case may be, the message is the message. This is what I'm going to tell you. I really don't care if you listen to me or not, because I have the understanding, I have the knowledge, I have the research. I've listened to other brothers, Alan Roger Curry, Ron Wills, BGS Sidmore, a lot of other different cats. And I can even listen to cats that's full of bullshit, separate the bullshit from from the gold, and extract that information. I've listened to other brothers for years, offline, online. I've of course read books. I have my own philosophy when it comes to, basically narrowing down women as far as their value. And like I said, let me show my slides again. Subprime, prime. This is gold. I had to get stole on in the head. I had to go through blood, sweat, and tears, emotions, hotel rooms at the middle of the night, conversations, and worse than that, to learn, okay, not all women are the same. Okay. Not every pretty woman is worth their weight in gold. Let's talk about this woman that's on his arm. This woman is like an 8, possibly even a 9. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Basically an 8, for sure, an 8. A California 8. This woman in Chicago, people be calling her a 9 or a dime. That just goes to show. What I'm trying to tell you is that's why these dudes in Chicago be shooting each other. These men in Chicago are so beauty starved, because a lot of women in Chicago move out of Chicago. They fighting over Keishas that look like 5s and 4s. Okay, I swear to God. These men in Chicago, for whatever reason, you can even put the Chicagoland area, are some of the most women starved, beauty starved men that I've ever seen. You can even include me in that. Women do not like a lot of the women that I grew up with that look like anything. They left Illinois, like somewhere between after high school to now. Chicago, just Illinois, is very rough environment, just weather wise. Like, for example, it's May 25th. I'm burning wood to keep warm. Okay, you can call it global warming, whatever the hell it is. Okay, the weather is fucked up north. Anywhere you go up north, the weather is fucked. So just dealing with the coldness of the weather is something else. And then when dealing with the certain cities and stuff like that, the violence, chaos, trying to pay for things and stuff like that, cost of living, it's rough. And I'll just tell you, a woman that looks like basically, let's just say, so like a woman that looks like Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson is like a 5. of 5. And she said herself, she didn't even know she was fat until she went to California. Because, I'll just say this, we got a lot of good food in Chicago. Got a lot of high fat, high caloric food in Chicago. We got some of the best food in the United States here in Chicago. You're going to get thick. If you keep eating food, you're going to get fat eating in Chicago. Chicago has a lot of fat women. If you listen to Six the Goddess, and she's had different spats with different women. One of the women that she was talking about, that she was going at, that had the husband, she is from Chicago. She loves her little plates and her food and stuff like that. That's a typical Chicago chick. Okay, we got some very, very good food. If you don't work out, you don't diet and fast in Chicago, you're fucked. You're going to be a bigums. You're going to be thick. If you look good, that's a plus. Even so, all the fat women in the United States, basically what I'm trying to tell you, move to Chicago. You will get chose. These men are a combination of sex starved and basically women starved. They will choose you. Okay. Now they might, I don't know, they might need some help with their bills. So don't expect these motherfuckers to be giving you all of the fucking money in the world. So all of that aside, yeah, this is a beautiful woman. Okay. You gonna probably want to choose this chick, man. But see, here's the thing. This is where it comes to a clueless alpha provider male. And this also goes into religion. Okay. Tyrese is a very much professed Christian. A lot of times what happens is, and I understand this goes into religion. Fornication is considered a sin. So actually using this woman like she should have been really obviously used, such as, basically a harlot concubine at best, he married this chick. Okay. He married her. And the result was what the result was. Basically being that alpha, the clueless alpha provider male, she took advantage of that. And now she's extracting value from him via the U.S. court system. And, I don't know. I hope the brother learns. I hope the brother can watch. I wish, I hope he can wise up, man. And, learn how to read some books, learn how to maybe turn on YouTube, turn off Instagram, turn on YouTube, learn some shit, get your arrogance out your ass, get your stubbornness out your ass, and actually learn learn some things about women. Okay. Because obviously, I'm not getting, it's no act. You're not gonna act on me. I'm gonna put you through the gauntlet. It's all kind of stuff you could do. I'm gonna weed it out. A lot of what happens is also these men try to marry these women because they're trying to get them off the market. This man probably was like, oh, this woman is so beautiful. She looks so good. Oh my God, I got to get her off the market. I got to also do the right thing because I'm a Christian and I got to marry her. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is where I'm being honest with you. I used to be religious, but I ain't going to lie. This is where I ain't going to lie. This is where Islam comes in. You could get married without going to court. You could get married, like literally all you need is 2 witnesses. So let's just say you feel some type of way, you're religious, as I was religious at one time, and I wasn't trying to fornicate. So guess what I did? I got married by a couple witnesses. All you need is like 2 or 3 male witnesses or something like that. And you can get married. Basically, what transpired from that was absolutely hardly anything. His could have been the same scenario. Now, if you would have got her pregnant, okay, boom, you got her pregnant. So basically what I'm saying is he could have gotten a marriage without having the courts involved. If it got to a certain extent where it went to a way where it was legitimate, it was something that had some type of longevity in it, he could have had a ceremony. It's basically what I'm saying. If you want to be really religious, I mean, Again, the clueless alpha provider male. Okay, women don't want a beta male. They some of the women that they're really on their last leg and they're struggling. They're looking for a beta male, provider male, because they have no other options. A lot of alpha provider males, they do know their worth. It's very few. I ain't gonna say it's very few, but it's not that many clueless alpha provider males. Okay, the alpha provider male that goes to the gym, that works out, takes care of his masculine frame. He knows his value. Okay, and he knows that a lot of women are trying to get with him, and he has his pick. And basically, there's not that many clueless alpha provider males. Therefore, that's why women, that's what they're looking for. If they can find one, they luck up. And it becomes a situation where it gets hard to deal with. And you like, damn, why the fuck do I have to deal with this shit? You were clueless. You didn't have the game at the time. You were stubborn. You were arrogant. You got caught. And now you have to deal with the damage control or not deal with it. Either way, you got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't recommend you basically alienating your children. It becomes difficult dealing with these women because, they are very good actresses. They put up on some type of game. This is where you got to get outside of your arrogance, get outside of your stubbornness, and actually seeing things what they are. Seeing the red flags, cutting them off, putting them down, and then cutting it off early. Therefore, basically you move out. Every woman gives you red flags. They give you the warning signs. And if you don't investigate those or really pay attention to those, you're gonna get caught. it just is what it is, You know what I'm saying? So another thing is seeking counsel, seeking advice. Once again, arrogance, stubbornness. Men don't seek out other men for help. Some of these guys, man, I'm talking about dating coaches. Some of these dating coaches cost too much. I mean, you got some guys that don't charge that much. I give advice. I don't charge that much, but if you're stubborn, you're arrogant, you can't help yourself or anybody else. So it is what it is. Stevie Wonder could see that shit wasn't going nowhere. So the thing is that either way, with the stubborn and the arrogance, either way, you make your choice. Ultimately, if you don't make it before you have children, usually, or before you get married, sign that contract, you will deal with the damage control. So either way, you're gonna get hit upside the head if you don't seek some type of counsel or some type of advisor, whether it be an OG, a friend, talk to your father, uncle. Same shit I tell women as far as advice. If you don't seek out help, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit upside your head. So yeah, that's pretty much what this guy is talking about. Let's play this again.
I left the courtroom during my divorce trial, and I realized that it was never love. It was just a transaction. Wow. So we did a whole marriage and did the whole duration of a child and starting a family just to find out that it was all about money, status, transaction. Imagine me being the only actor in a relationship to then realize that I was in a relationship for 5 years with one of the best actors I've ever met in my life. I left the courtroom.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, women are very good actors. Okay, they can cry. They can cry at a moment's notice. They can be very very good pretenders. Okay. If you don't get those red flags and pay attention to those, that's you. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, the clueless alpha provider male. Obviously, it could also I could also say the clueless beta provider male, right? I could say the same thing about a beta provider male, but a lot of times this is what happens, and this is where it becomes you question yourself. You making all the other alpha men look bad because or sigma men, whatever, because you're behaving like you're a beta male. Typically, what beta provider males do is they come off. I call them the "I'll drink your bath water" dudes. They come off as if they're lesser men that they absolutely need in order to get the attention from women, in order to keep their attention, to keep them in their life. They're willing to, basically send a good morning text, good night text, check on the woman all throughout the day, just do all of these tasks to basically keep the woman in his orbit or stay in her orbit. That's where the term beta orbiter comes. And basically all of these things to basically put himself in this woman's life, as if if it's reciprocation, I don't have no problems with that. You do what you do. But where it becomes an issue is you're doing that, and then this woman privately, she's telling her friends, I can't stand this motherfucker. This nigga is so annoying. He's sending me all these texts throughout the day. He's bugging me. He's constantly asking me stuff about where I'm doing and what I'm doing. Because typically what happens when it comes to the beta provider male, the clueless beta provider male, because you got some beta males that they absolutely know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They kind of something, because of the internet and everything like that, books and things. A lot of beta males are getting put up on game, and really that's really why things are the way they are, because a lot of men are basically getting gamed up and getting wise when it comes to dealings with women, and then women get back into a corner of isolation when it happens. And then also you got a lot of beta males that basically, and this is what I find women really don't like. You got a lot of beta males that are actually they're doing this here, and they can't stand that, because you see, you got to think about it. I never really did a video on passports and all that, but I'm gonna tell you something. I've been kind of trying to in one way or form get my passport for years, for decades. And And I'll tell you, don't nothing piss off a black woman more than you talking about getting a passport and going. Like, to me, I'm half African, so going to Africa ain't no big deal to me. So you talking about getting a replacement in Africa, where there's millions and millions of black women in Africa. They don't like that shit. You know, they really do not like that, because that's absolutely something that you can do relatively easy, and they don't like that shit. And the thing is that they don't like competition. Okay, and it is competition. And when it comes to being the clueless, alpha provider male and beta male, is that you're putting yourself below a value of what you think you are. You think you're a lowly male that has to kowtow and do all these things for women, when you don't have to do that, basically. So that's where that comes in to play, where it becomes a situation where I'm like, this dude don't know his value. He obviously doesn't know his value. So yeah, let me kind of explain to you how I look at value. Okay. And this helps out. This helps out all types of men. And I say it again. One is stats. Understanding the stats is very, very important. A lot of times, it's very, very important. It understands how valuable you are. Stats puts you in a position where you understand how valuable you are. A lot of times, men, women, whatever, just humans, we forget a lot. Through the cycles of going to sleep, waking up, you forget things, and we forget stats. Okay, because it's more than just stats. Okay, it's more than just stats, and the stats are I broke down the stats. Okay. You'd have to watch my video. Let me put it in the chat again. I did a video on relationships in America. I broke down the stats, as far as how many black men they are, how many black women they are in this country, and why it's pretty much a situation where it is a problem. It is in a lot of cases, the only solution is to travel to different parts of the country, as well as outside of the country. It's that bad. Okay. And a lot of times that's where it goes into, like I said, being the clueless alpha provider male, beta male, whatever, is that you look at women as if they are finite. Women are not finite, bro. I understand. This woman is a gorgeous woman. This is a most guys, the drink my bathwater dudes, they can't wait to drink her bathwater. I get it. Okay. I'm color struck, but the thing is that she could have been brown skin, still gorgeous. Dark skin, still gorgeous. Okay, you got gorgeous, you got not so gorgeous. You got like I said, that's why they have the look scale and all of that. I mean, the thing is, I get it, but a lot of times, here's the thing. A lot of times, and this is what I learned. This is what I learned from, um, I learned this from other men that might be the same age, might be younger than me. And I've even heard a man that was kind of like a nerd, a white nerd. I remember listening to a white nerd years ago. Okay. He was telling me, I mean, not telling me, but he did a video, I think it was pretty much a YouTube, where he was talking about how he put his woman through trials. He tested his woman. Before he married his woman, he put her through all kinds of tests and trials before he put a ring on her finger. Okay. And how you can do that is all kind of things. Is this woman a value add, or you are a liability? Okay. Does this woman do what you ask her to do? Does this woman go on a hiking trip? Okay, go hiking for a weekend. See how she responds to nature, the mosquitoes, to your lead. See how she follows your lead out there in the woods. Go on a fishing trip for so early morning, hot Sunday or Saturday. Go on a road trip. It's kind of hard to do that if you're a rich and famous guy. Okay, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? If you're rich and famous, very difficult for you to do certain things as far as like women already know you're famous and they already know you're rich. So it's not like you can hide your wealth or anything like that. But you could still vet women. You could still, what I'm basically talking about is, like I said, stats. Stats let you know how rare you are. Stats absolutely, show you how rare you are. Once I realized how rare I was, I knew I had the golden ticket. A lot of times I forget. Like I said, sometimes you got to remind yourself, damn, okay, I got to get back to the core. A lot of times I listen to my own videos to recalibrate myself, to, give myself some more advice again, to reestablish myself. But yeah, stats. And when it comes to stats, what I'm talking about is the whole, 6 foot stuff. Okay. 6 foot tall. Check. Is your penis fully erect over 6 inches? Okay. I ain't gonna go there, but yeah, that's definitely, this is going to be on Patreon. So anyway, yeah, that's definitely check. 6-pack abs, got to work on that. But just think about it. How many people have this? I've done the video on my channel, playing Isaac Hayes' son. Did the video on how rare things are as far as when it comes to men. That video is in my shorts. 6 figures. Probably gonna make 6 figures this year for the first time. Another thing is like a luxury V6 car and all that type of stuff. Those things are rare. So everybody don't have those things, and some of those things, yeah, you can't buy. You can get. You got guys getting these leg surgeries. They getting these leg surgeries and shit, turning themselves into a fucking human Pinocchio and shit. You know what I'm saying? Basically, those surgeries, I saw a little bit about that. Basically, you turn yourself into a human Pinocchio. You cannot run. Your ass cannot fucking run no fucking 5 on 5. you can forget about it. Try to play volleyball. I mean, you basically turn yourself into a gimp. You literally so you can be tall. You're gonna be a tall ass gimp for the rest of your life just because you wanna be taller. Hey, knock yourself out. I mean, like I say, the clueless provider meal. Okay, the clueless provider meal. Stats. You don't understand how rare you are. A lot of times, your parents are supposed to tell your children, okay, you're rare, you're special. This is why you're special. You know how to do this. So they can, so you instill to your children that you have some type of value. But a lot of times you have to learn yourself, right? Know thyself. And that's how you understand where you are in those stats. You break down, do you have any rare genetic traits? I mean, myself, I have a widow's peak. Okay. Ain't too many people have the, what I'm saying, have the blade widow's peak. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Like, I'm literally Blade, nigga. I ain't no movie. Every year I don't even have to dress up as Halloween costume. All I got to do is put on a cape. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's some rare traits. That puts me in a rare category. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, you got to know thyself. Knowing thyself and where you are within stats of rarity understands where you are on the pecking order. And when you realize that, then you move with that. You understand that confidence, you know what I'm saying? But this is where it gets deeper. You get out of stats. Emotions. A lot of you motherfuckers don't have no control over your emotions. A lot of the clueless alpha provider male, the clueless, we talking about Tyrese having these problems with women. A lot of different guys having problems with women, but he's getting married with these basically scumbag women that look good, no control over your emotions, being able to be by yourself if needed for a long period of time. A lot of times what women do is they understand. They'll try to pinpoint a guy that might not have somebody or whatever. Be like, oh, okay, let me love bomb this motherfucker real quick. You got some predators out here as far as women. Let me go love bomb this motherfucker. Let me go attention bomb this motherfucker. And then next thing you know, you done motherfucking fell for the trap. You have no control over your emotions. You can't be by you. Got some men. I mean, obviously, yeah, you got extroverted men. You can't be by yourself. You gotta be with a chick. She knows you gotta be with a chick. She knows you gotta be with you. You one of them. I gotta be niggas. I gotta be niggas. Gotta pay. Okay, so she got you. She already got you. No control over your emotions. That's why the stats ain't necessarily. These motherfuckers don't zero in on the stats. But like I say, I mean, it's definitely going Patreon. My game ain't free. I had to motherfucker learn this shit with blood, sweat, tears, fucking long nights, hotel fucking rooms by myself. When I'm, what I'm saying, I already had a woman, I already had children. I had to learn this shit the hard way. If you don't respect the game, you a lame. So I mean, basically, this shit ain't free 99. It's going on my Patreon. But the thing is that you have no control over your emotions. That's how they get you. You can't be by yourself. You can't turn no pussy down. They love bomb you, tension bomb you, pussy bomb you, You know what I'm saying? Look up the song Missy Elliott Pussycat. Look up the song Missy Elliott Pussycat, and you will understand what I'm talking about. Missy Elliott Pussycat. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No control of your emotions. You know what I'm saying? One thing that you know, you learn from a pimp, you know, like reading the book Iceberg Slim, you know, a pimp has control over his emotions. Cold-hearted, you know, reserved, you know. You know, you learn that over time that, you know, people will try to take advantage of your emotions. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Try to take advantage of your emotions. You fall for it. You're a weak motherfucker. They're going to take advantage of you. There you go. This is the shit your daddy and your granddaddy didn't tell you, or might have didn't know they self, or, you know, didn't know how to educate you on control your emotions. And I've already talked about ego and stubbornness. You know, the ego comes in. I gotta show, you know, I get a chick. I want to show everybody out like it's a new car. You know, I got a new trophy to show. Okay, you don't have to pay for it. That trophy, if that trophy talks back, has children, has the capacity to get a lawyer, will get taken advantage of. Clueless alpha provider male. Okay, clueless alpha provider male. So, basically, that's I pretty much said quite a bit so far. If you want to get this for your reference, I'll leave it up for probably till I wake up tomorrow. This will be on Patreon.